Hey guys, this is Dot, and today I'm back at Mr. Nightmare for my second upload. After I came back from Iceland about a week, precisely a week ago, I would say. No, it's Friday, a week and a few days ago. So I can upload as many videos as I want. But last video I watched was Walmart, and so the people there, the bullshit meter was at a 6. It was averaging a steady 16, which, for context, means you basically have mental disorders. Same thing with this one. My bullshit meter most went to a 6. They were at 16, which means you have severe mental disorders. It shouldn't go over a 12. Off the charts is out of this world. But now let's react to Three disturbing true stories. Let's watch that one. What the fuck? Y'all be tripping in that costume. And why is my okay.
When I was 19, I worked as a camp counselor at a summer camp. The job would be to entertain and chaperone a large group of kids with a bunch of other counselors for 3 sessions for the summer. That meant 3 different groups of kids would come at different points in the summer. Each group would come for 2 weeks, which meant I was away from home for this job for a total of 6 weeks.
Right.
By the time the last group came, summer was more than half over, and I was ready to finish this job and get home. At some point during the second week of the 3rd session, and the final week of the job for the season, one of the kids in my group, named Todd, wasn't feeling good, so he wanted to go back to the cabin to go to sleep while everyone else was around the campfire.
Right.
When we got back to the cabin for 10 to 12-year-old boys, I left Todd to brush up and go to bed.
So you're telling me that okay, I'm not gonna say that term. You separate, I'll say separate, people based on their age? How discriminatory can you be? Oh, because you're 12, you have to go in this group, oh man. Okay, I'm just sounding like a bitch ass. So I'm not about to talk about this, so I'm not gonna have a conversation about what I'm trying to say, but I think you're bullshitting.
Upon exiting the cabin, a little girl, probably 8 years old, was waiting in front.
What?
She wasn't supposed to be in the section, especially not alone at this hour at her age.
Exactly.
I asked her where her group was. She didn't answer me.
You're tripping. You're tripping. We got this 8-year-old girl and ain't answering your questions.
For what her name was. She said Willa. I asked her what her counselors' names were. She didn't answer.
Well, she probably sounds like she's not associated with any of this group shit, so it's time to kick her off the premises.
I took
Turn it into police.
her hand and brought her into the front section of the cabin.
Oh, nah.
Then I told her to wait there.
Don't be touching her.
I started to run across the camp to the other activity sections, hoping to find the girls' group. When I couldn't find them, I ran straight for the section with the girl cabins. I found one of the female counselors with a small group of 7 to 8-year-old girl campers, and asked her if she had any girls named Willa in their group. The counselor was certain there was no one with that name in any of the girls' groups, actually.
I'm just dropping the bitch in front of you. I'm gonna say girl, because that's just a little offensive for such a young age to say that, but I'm just gonna drop the girl in front of you and say, it's your problem. I don't deal with girls. I'm 12. I don't deal with girls. Sorry. What am I talking about? I don't deal with people of this nature. I'm not gonna say because I don't deal with girls. I don't deal with 8-year-old girls who be bullshitting like this, who don't tell me nothing, who is like here for nothing, who I don't know what you're doing, why you were there. It's just I don't know how to explain. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? That's how I would say. I don't like to deal with that kind of shit. You shouldn't be here. Willa. It's time I need to take you to your parents. Where's your parents' address? Oh! So you telling me you live all the way in motherfucking Wisconsin, but we are in North Carolina. Okay, well. I'm gonna have to say something. You're on your own. I'm not giving you no escort service. I'm not giving you nothing. Sorry, you're on your own. I'm not taking you to Wisconsin because that's gotta be damn over a 10-hour drive, and I ain't wasting my time for you because you're just giving me weird vibes, and you people might will look at me like, what the fuck am I talking about? But I know what I'm talking about. When I see people, I know what I'm talking about.
Next thing I did was run back to the boys' cabin where I left the girl, with plans
Oh, you left the girl.
bringing her to the front office building. When I got back to the cabin, however, she wasn't there.
See, you should have just hold her. Don't hold her in a way that you look like a pedophile, or that you are like a pedophile. Just tell her, I'm gonna need you to walk this way. Just say that.
I went towards the back section by the beds and asked Todd if he'd seen a girl walk in there, to which he looked confused and said no. So now in a panic, I ran outside and looked in the immediate area of the cabin for the girl, when suddenly I heard a girl's scream come from the woods.
Oh, come on! Okay, that scream is like a mix between a deranged person and an animal. So you gotta be bullshitting me. I gotta hear that.
I heard a girl's scream come from the woods. I was beyond shook. I can't even come up with better words to use for how I was feeling when I heard that scream. I wanted to run for help, but I felt like whatever danger she could be in could be time sensitive. So I ran into the woods calling Willa's name. It didn't return any calls back for a while, and I felt like I was hopelessly running into the dark woods. Until finally, after some time, and calling the name Willa constantly, there was a scream echoing through the woods, very close this time. I continued a bit further, and there she was. That little girl named Willa. She was standing straight in front of a tree looking at me, as if she were waiting. I told
If I had to see that girl looking at me like that, I don't know what I would do. I might kill myself. I might raise up in the sky. I might pick the bitch up and take her with me. I just said that offensive word again. Why am I saying that? She's only 8. I might just run back. I don't know. But one thing, this picture is unsettling.
I told her to come to me in a quiet voice as I slowly approached her. But then she turned and started running.
You both bullshitting me. She's like evading you and you're trying to...
I didn't know why she was running, but I had to follow her. She was surprisingly fast, but I kept up. I saw her slow down and stop ahead, though my vision of her was intruded by a few trees, as it was the whole time I was chasing her. I stopped and hid behind a tree, thinking maybe I could sneak up on her and grab her if I was quiet enough. And I noticed something in the near distance. It was some small, dim red light waving around behind some foliage.
Like, you bullshitting by being in the woods all alone. I just want to say that. But I don't go to church. I've only been to church like 3 times in my life. 2 times. And that's when we had to bury some family members. Well, only once in America and one in Canada. But I'm sorry, I don't go to church, but because I just think it's just bear with me. I think the church is a scam, which I know you're gonna be like, you are a fucking retard. You're gonna look at me, but I know I think you need to pray for this girl and you. We're gonna have to pray for you. I hope you do not die. That's all I gotta say. And you make it back safely with that girl and you find where she lived. And no bullshit happens. No one kills you. No red lights are bullshitting you. Amen.
The girl then ran over to the light and apparently ducked down out of sight. I was trying to put the pieces together, just as I saw some larger figure emerge from where the girl had just disappeared to. And this figure was crouch walking in my direction.
Well, I see, this is why I don't go to church. Because my prayer didn't work. I literally hope for the best for you, and all you got is a motherfucker coming to you. I'm not trying to do this as a joke. I'm half-heartedly serious when I did this. But I see your bullshit. So I think it's safe to say. A little bit raining. It's safe to say that this church is a scam. But let's not talk about that. It's safe to say you will die. And when I mean that, I don't even mean it like I'm not like joking, being funny. Like, he sees you. This girl is coming towards this sus guy, and he's crouch walking towards you.
To put two and two together and assume this was some kind of trap.
Okay, this guy is so smart. But at the same time, a fucking retard, because he used this kid to prey on you. That kid should know what's up. The kid should know what's up. And when he came to the woods, you should have picked the girl up, handcuffed her, and took her to the council. It's like, hey, what's this girl doing here? She's getting off target, off guard. She's getting off, dozing off. She should be over there, but she's over here. So can we sort this out? I don't know if she's in our groups, because right now your bullshit meter is all the way out to a 24. That is 50% more. Fuck it, it's 200% more than... I haven't been to school in 2 months, so bear with me. It's either 50% more. No, it's not. It's 200% more. Yeah, 200% more than what the max should be, which is a 12. So you are severely autistic. No, not that. You have brain damage. Your frontal lobe. I don't want to make fun of anyone with any disabilities, but you have been deprived of oxygen before you came out. Your mom had to have a C-section. That's how stupid you are. And you weren't fully developed. That's like your mentality right now. I know I sound very insulting. I'm very sorry. And I'm going to also pray for the people. I'm very sorry. I insulted all of you people. I do not mean no harm towards you and your community. I'm just trying to use you as an example. Can you please forgive me? Because you are acting like them right now. Because you are acting like you have brain damage. And you are tripping right now. I know I'm very onto your case. But you are just straight up, you are at a 24 on that bullshit scale. The most I've ever been on is a 6. So you're 4 times bullshitting than I have ever been in my whole life. So what? And you are what, 12? And I'm 14. So I think it's safe to say you are a complete fucking retard, and you need to go to a mental hospital, because no one in their right mind is gonna be running in the woods after some girls. Well, let's see.
So I turned and ran. No, sprinted all the way back to the campgrounds and ran straight for the main office. I spoke with the camp coordinator, Jackie, told her about the suspicious activity that just took place, and advised that all camp activity should be cut short for the night. Any incident like this would be treated very seriously for the safety of the children and the well-being of the camp's reputation.
Right.
Authorities had been alerted about suspicious activity on the campground. They came, I helped them with their report, and they left. By morning, everything was back to normal. The season was over before we knew it, and that was that. I have my own theories of what I witnessed in the woods that night. The most logical has to be the possibility that a man was using that little girl, maybe his daughter, as some kind of bait to lure unsuspecting victims into the woods. And what would happen next? I have no idea. I'm glad I didn't find out.
I'm glad you made it out alive, because your bullshit skill was at a 24. That was the most I've ever seen on this show. No joke. No jokes.
I've been through a lot of hellish experiences in my life, but this one takes the cake. It was about 20 years ago, so I was, I believe, around 20 years old.
Right now it's at a 10.
This was way before cell phones and navigation garments. I was working off the books for a media company at the time, who were paying me for my photography and videography skills.
Right.
I had all of the top quality video equipment for the time, which held to today's standards would be like comparing a Nokia to an iPhone. I was
Oh. Dude, my dad's got like a $2,000 camera set. Because he needs to take pictures. And when we go to Iceland, we don't go there for no reason. We gonna be taking pictures and pictures and pictures and pictures of each waterfall and geographical location. We don't go there for no reason.
being paid to go out into the wilderness and record hours worth of background footage of lakes, trees, etc.
There you go. That's
They would
nice.
use this as stock footage for various documentaries and such. I drove about half an hour to find a good place in rural Maryland to do the shoot. Then I parked my car on a dirt road and hiked for a while, finding a few good shooting locations.
Right.
It was good for me to get sunset and nighttime shots as well, as different times of day created different lighting for the videos.
Right.
When I figured I had enough, I started packing up my copious amounts of equipment and threw my 2 bags over my shoulders and began walking. And walking. And walking. I started to realize I should have reached the dirt road where my car was by now. There came a time when I had to accept it. I was lost. I had absolutely no way of knowing which way was
That
which.
sucks.
I'd done wilderness shoots before, and never had I run.
I've actually been lost once. Oh my god. I remember this memory. Once we were hiking, we got lost, kinda. But I literally was such a bitch to my mom. In Michigan, we had this store called, at first it was called Parisian. That was changed to Carson's, which I think that's also defunct. I don't know if it is, I don't know. I haven't been there in a long time. But at the time it was Parisian. It's kind of like a department, clothing store. So I was in the upstairs level while my mom was shopping. But I decided it'd be funny to go into the, the changing rooms. The try-on rooms. Not changing rooms, what the fuck? What are they called? I think that's what they are called, changing rooms. Even though you're not technically changing into a new pair of clothes, you're just fitting rooms. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I just thought it was funny to just hide into a fitting room, and then my mom was just outside the damn. I could hear her crying. Literally, like 10 minutes. I don't know how long I was in there. I was just hiding from my mom, and she was just standing out, literally in the similar area to where I was crying, because I was bullshitting. Now, granted, I said my bullshit meter was at the most was ever at a 6. So to be insulting, by being insulting, my bullshit meter was at 9. But still, that's significantly lower than the people in this video. What the fuck?
Run into that problem before, but usually I'd have a compass with me. Not this time. I kept walking for so long, it got to the point that I was letting out little cries to myself in stress, wanting nothing more than to just find my car and go home, feeling absolutely helpless. Eventually, after many hours, I came across a small building.
Many hours? Holy shit.
It was an old house that appeared to be abandoned in the middle of the woods, indicated by the vines crawling up the sides of the home, plus the broken glass.
I remember Mr. Nightmare uses this picture a lot.
Around in the woods in the night was the last thing I wanted to do, and seeking refuge for the night made more sense. I walked up the wooden stairs to the front door, which seemed to have already been broken in. All I had to do was push it with a bit of force, and I was inside.
So you're telling me that, okay, your bullshit meter already is at a 26, which is the highest I've ever seen, because you are going to spend a night in a place you shouldn't be. Granted, the place is abandoned, and you don't live there.
It was next to pitch black in there, and every step I took, I felt like I was stepping on rubble or trash.
Wow.
I did, however, manage to find the bedroom of the house, which still had a bed in it, mind you, probably a filthy bed at that. But it beats.
Why would you sleep in it? I don't get some people's logic. It amazes me. It's just like some people are stupid.
Sleeping in the woods or hiking around any longer in the dark. I shut the door and plopped my stuff on the floor.
Oh, I guess if you have to, if it was
Arranged one of my bags to act as a cushion between me and the actual bed itself. Then I tried my best to fall asleep in this dark, abandoned, foreign location in the middle of the woods.
Unfortunately, I know your shit's gonna get fucked up.
It was surreal, and it was scary. The window in the room was broken, so I could hear the wind and bugs outside. But over that, there was the slightest, and I mean slightest little creak from a few feet away from the bed across this tiny bedroom. I looked up, and he...
I've never heard anyone bullshit so much. To the point they thought, ooh, let's stay in this house. Let's have a party in this abandoned house. But you don't own the house. That's where we're getting to legal issues. You don't have any ownership of that property, and it's been abandoned, and it's probably been into before, and who knows what's up with that place. Maybe someone else lives there. I mean, they claim it their property, claims it's their property, but
Even though it was dark, I could vaguely see a closet door in the corner. It was moving. It had to be the drift. It had to be. I was letting my paranoia get the better of me in this freakish
I don't know what draft
situation.
is, but
But then, over the sound of the bugs and wind, I heard something from inside the room now. It was a gurgling type sound.
dude, you know what's so funny? I make that same exact noise. I know it sounds retarded, but I recognize that noise, and that's creepy, because I'm the only known human other than this example to make that noise. I just literally have to swallow. I literally just swallow air and it just makes that noise. Not like that. It has to be a certain way, but it's hard to teach another human how to do it, and it's retarded. But it just lets me know that this is even more sus when someone's making the same noise as I make. Now I'm not autistic, but I find that noise funny, so I do it sometimes, but very rare.
Like a
And sometimes
throat
I do it so high up.
noise. I looked at the closet again. Something was coming out from the darkness of the closet. I got up
Dude,
to
this
grab
is so
my stuff.
creepy. Like, dude, I don't think I would ever, like, out of all the scenarios I've ever seen on Mr. Nightmare's channel, minus I haven't seen a few videos because I've kind of drifted off from watching his videos for a few months. This is just the most scariest situation you could be in. And I know there was that situation where they were held hostage because they broke into a Halloween party where they were doing some fucked up shit, meaning smoking the weed, doing the math, some bad, very bad stuff, riding the bitch. But 2 people got killed, innocent people, and he lost all his stuff because they robbed him. Four people broke in, but this takes that to a whole new level. And when you tell me that you slept in an abandoned house, it just makes the bullshit meter go to 30. A 30! No, that's the highest I've ever been on this channel. The bullshit meter's at a 30. And ideally, it should be at a 12. Because you're walking around at the woods at night. It's not real. I don't think that's a good idea. I like walking in the woods. Granted, I'm not the kind of person who gonna tell you not to go, but not at night. And when you hear these weird noises coming from the closet and the closet opening, when you hear, and I'm the only person on earth to know how to make that noise, it makes it even freakier.
Off the ground, and within arm's reach now, I was staring at someone else in this room in this abandoned house in the middle of the forest. Here's my description of what I saw in the brief moments I was staring at this person. I saw a man wearing a woman's wig with some kind of makeup on his face. As for what he was wearing, I didn't really
Transgender much?
notice that, but I think it was something dark since I couldn't really see it. I grabbed my bags and started saying I'm sorry as I ran out of the house. I didn't know if this was their house or not at the time, but either way I didn't want any trouble. As I ran away from the house, I heard footsteps tailing behind me at first. I think this is when the adrenaline really kicked in, and I suddenly had this insane amount of energy to keep running until I felt I had escaped.
Yeah, this is just, your bullshit meter, granted, was at a 30, which, if you want a visual, this is what a 12 looks like, and this is what a 30 looks like. So you're over more than, you are 2.5 times more than some of the craziest people ever. Because, I've always felt like, I've always had that mentality. What if I slept in an abandoned building? But I'm always scared of something like this happening. I'm not kidding, because, I might come in there to do some, some things I'm not going to talk about. And just leave, take my time and leave. Maybe, take 5 minutes. But if something throws me off guard, I'm just going to be scarred. The closet starts shaking. The floorboards up in the starts creaking. Granted, nothing should be up there. And this is quote unquote abandoned. But here we are having some weird noises. So I'm just gonna get the hell out of here. I've had bad intentions for coming in here. Had to do some things, Had to do some things that I shouldn't do in this kind of situation, but it's just another thing to say, hey, I've in an abandoned building. I'm not gonna say what I did, but it's like a flex. But I'm not actually gonna. You think I'm actually gonna do this? Because in my area, there's very few abandoned buildings. In my neighborhood, there are no abandoned buildings. Every building has someone in it. There's once an abandoned building, but that was only for a certain period of time, like 6 months before a cool guy moved in with his family, which I like him. He was just a few blocks down. My voice. Pat? Now, what's funny is if I go down my street a little bit, I could see some abandoned, some buildings that look like they're abandoned behind. But it's behind, and I'm not gonna trespass to look at them. I just leave them alone. I see a few abandoned buildings, but they're not. I don't consider them because they're not on my property, so I'm not gonna be I don't walk really off my neighborhood without driving.
And even after that, I kept running, hopping over logs and rocks and twigs, trying to find a road, any road, with the logic that there's only so much forest left in the state, I'd have to run into a road eventually.
That's what everyone says. Same with the liberals. They say, oh, there's so many trees left. When in reality, there's an uncountable amount of trees. You could count them, but you're probably going to waste your whole damn life counting those trees. When I say that, there's plenty of trees on this earth. And even if we're being the deforest, we still have enough trees. We have forest upon a forest upon a forest. And that's not to include other countries in Asia. Not really. Well, a little bit in Africa. Some of Africa is desert. Some of it is actually rainforest. But the point is, we have plenty of trees on this earth. And so you are acting like, I'm not going to get too political, but you are kind of acting like a liberal right now. And you're telling me that oh, there's such and such trees, and we need to save the environment. I'm like, come on, shut the fuck up. You're full of shit. There are a shit ton of trees on this earth. And I can't even count the amount of trees. Like, I can see right now, and just looking out my window, 4 trees. And in my backyard, I have woods. I can see hundreds of trees. Now, that's enough for me to live. And for a group of people to live. So I'm not worried about trees. But I'm just talking bullshit. So let's get...
I walked down the road, and within 10 minutes, a car passed, and I hitchhiked my way back to my truck.
You're so lucky you got hitchhiked.
I walked down the road, and within 10 minutes, a car passed, and I hitchhiked my way back to my truck.
I'm the kind of person who never hitchhikes. Never hitchhikes, nor picks up people like that.
On my way home, I had time to reflect. That house was absolutely abandoned. The door and all the windows were smashed open, there was trash all over the place. I can't use logic to explain it, because it's not explainable. I am grateful I was unharmed, though.
Well, yeah, but you was bullshit. I cannot tell you how stupid you are to just think you can make yourself at home to a place that you shouldn't, that's not your home. It's just like makes no sense. Why would you make yourself at home to a place that is not your home? If someone made their self at home, and I don't know them, at my house, which is not their home, I'm gonna pull out the hammer and the gun. And nothing good's gonna come out. So don't be trying to come to my house, okay?
My apartment complex sits in a pretty safe neighborhood, so I guess I'm naturally less on guard as far as break-ins and whatever.
Just because of that doesn't mean you always have to be completely not ignoring stuff, because that's what people say, but they get fucked. Some people got killed. There was a hitman. Not a hitman, it was like an assassin.
There was this one night I'd gotten home late from a bar with friends, and though I wasn't very drunk anymore, I was definitely still tipsy. To give a little context on my apartment layout, it's on the ground level and has 2 doors, a front and back. As I entered, I was in the living room.
Wait, is that your apartment? That's one of the ghettoest apartments I've ever seen.
By my dog Chester. Then
And that looks like a nice apartment inside, but the exterior looked like a hotel, like a ghetto hotel.
Past the living room to walk down the tiny
no offense.
way to my room. Chester followed, though he was acting a little weird.
Chester?
I jumped right into bed. I was exhausted.
What's wrong, boy? Chester? Did someone break in?
I fell asleep in minutes, and the next thing I remember is waking up to growling. I looked.
Chester! I asked you if something was wrong. You could have speaked up, and we could have just hauled ass at that time. Why weren't you speaking, Chester? Chester, what happened to you? We used to be best friends. We used to be homies. Now you act like you don't even know me. Just tell me, what's wrong? Why do you feel the need to growl? Please tell me, because that could mean something to us. Could mean something to my life. So if you can help me, it's called what's it called? A mutual, is it a mutual relationship? Like, for example, like this bird would clean something off a crocodile's teeth, so the bird's getting fed and the crocodile's getting clean. I think that's what it's called, a mutual relationship. That's like, you're telling me knowledge, sharing with me that we need to haul ass, and we both getting out of there. So we're both benefiting from that knowledge being shared. I don't know, that makes no sense to you guys, but please, Chester, be open to me. You're my homie. I thought you was my homie. Just tell me, what's troubling you? For real.
Chester, who was standing up on my bed, looking at the far corner of the room. I sat up to see what he was
Chester, is there a person in your room?
Looking at, but it was too dark. I had to flip on the lamp. That's when I noticed that he was looking at the closet door, which was cracked open just barely.
Wow.
Right away, I felt a pain in my stomach as I feared the worst. I lightly tapped him to get him to shut up for a second, and he looked at me and went silent. I got out from the bed as he watched me tiptoe closer to the closet. If someone was in there, I had to be ready to defend myself. So instead of opening that door right then and there, I hurried to the kitchen to get a knife. Chester followed me. When I got back into my room, I don't know where it came from, I had a huge bout of confidence overcome me, and I rushed open the closet door fully. I was shocked, but also relieved to see no one inside. I called Chester an idiot as I went back to the kitchen.
Chester! Granted, you just bullshitted me by giving me false hope that I was about to catch someone. Chester! What happened, Chester? Chester. Chester! You know, like at my school, they used to be like, Jason. I'm gonna be like, Chester, you right. Now, I know I'm being obsessed with Chester, but Chester! What has happened to us? Do we need to go to a mental asylum? Sorry, not like a psychologist. Chester. Okay. But granted, you was bullshitting by giving me false hope that someone, like the false feeling that someone was in there.
Put the knife away.
You put the knife away. I have a knife always next to me, if you know that, and a gun and a hammer, right in my nightstand. I don't play around when it comes to my safety. And some pills.
Got back into the room. I saw Chester looking under my bed, growling again.
Okay, Chester. If I check under that bed, there better be a human. There better be someone under that bed, or I'm gonna knock your ass out. Cause there's no. This growling is unnecessary, Chester. Do you need to see a dog psychiatrist? Chester. Do you need to see a dog psychiatrist? Because there's no reason why you should be growling at nothing. It's just like there's no reason why I should be. I don't know how to explain it. Why I should be. Man, I don't know what to say.
I bent down to take a look, and there was a man hiding under my bed.
See? Chester was somewhat on his guard. So when Chester's bullshit rating, I give Chester's bullshit rating a 12. Because the first he was, this means he's kind of iffy. Chester identified a threat in a closet, but there's no threat in a closet. So he identified a threat under the bed, and he did find one.
We made eye contact for a second, and then I grabbed Chester and ran outside to knock on the neighboring apartment.
Why? What's up with you just like running? Like, I'm gonna say, sir, inch forward. I would have took my gun. Inch forward, sir. And I'll just put the gun to his head like this. And I'll be like, why you here? Oh, you don't want to respond? Don't make me shoot this, because I'll break my window. And I would also pull out this hammer and bash the guy in his head, crushing his skull, thus killing him. Because there's no reason why you should be in my house, under my bed, which is why, I don't know if y'all notice, my bed, it's so low to the ground, you can't even fit your hand through it. You can't even fit your arm. That's how good my bed is. So there should be no one hiding in there. You would have to take the planks off the bed to hide under it. What I mean that is you lift the mattress up. Excuse the stuffed animals. You have to lift the mattress up, and you have to pull out the planks, which sometimes fall out, but you have to pull out the planks and hide there, or lift the bed up, but I don't think anyone would go that far.
Door. My neighbor opened in his pajamas.
And I would just have if that happened, I would have such a huge fear of beds. They're like, hi,
I begged him to let me in after explaining that someone was in my apartment. He let me in immediately and let me use his phone to call the police. The intruder wasn't in the apartment anymore by the time the police came and searched the place.
You think?
If it weren't for my tiny little chihuahua who couldn't harm a fly, I may not have come out of this in one piece.
Chester. Granted, you was doing some bullshit, but you also told me some nice information. Cahoots to you, boy. I'm gonna pretend like this is Chester. This is a fucking digital camera. Good boy. Good boy. And this is his head. Good job, Chester. You did good today. You told me that there was someone under my bed. Like, what's up with people getting scared? Like, I would just stab the person. I just have it in me to stab someone who's hiding under my bed. Not just, I don't know what's wrong with people. Like, if you have the audacity to enter my house without consent, I'm going to harm you without consent. Does that make sense to you? Anyone you listening who thinks they're going to enter my house. Now, I'm just probably asking to get fucked, but if you think you can break into someone's house and they just go like this, those are bad homeowners. A good homeowner has a gun. Good homeowners have guns. So, please, everyone needs to have a gun. I'm not saying to commit mass shootings. I'm just saying to protect yourself. Because the liberals don't want you to have guns. You know why? Because they're promoting socialism. They want to take your guns away. They want to take your freedom. They want to make this country socialist. I'm not going to let that happen. Let's not let that happen, people. I'm not going to let the liberals make our country socialist. Because they took my weapons away. Now I can't fight back against them. And now they fucked us over. I may sound ridiculous, but it's true. Look what happened in Venezuela. So I'm not letting the dumbass liberals gonna take my gun. They can take my freedom away, and they let people hide under my bed like that. That's a bunch of bullshit, and you know it. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. This is Top, and I have to go.